Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Conzia Podcast, where we sit down with the brightest minds that are shaping the future of e commerce, tech, and digital marketing. Today, I am thrilled to welcome Christie, who is a dynamic leader. Christie has built her career at the intersection of marketing, AI, and innovation. From studying machine learning and no code AI at MIT to leading marketing at the New York Times to helping guide a company through a successful acquisition. Christie brings a powerful blend of strategic insight and hands on execution. We will explore today how she is helping brands leverage AI and automation to scale smarter. Christy, welcome to my show.
Thank you. That is such a nice introduction. So thank you for that. And thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
you come from a very diverse background, and you definitely deserve this great introduction. So we would like to go into details. So share with us how you started in terms of like MIT and then New York Times, then marketing, and you also help companies exit. So share with us a little bit of your story so that our audience can understand exactly how has been your journey.
Well, I have an agency background, and so I think that made me appealing to companies. There might be very technical companies, and somehow I ended up having expertise in subscription models. And when I lived in New York City, I basically worked from agencies, then to New York Times. And then when I moved to Florida, then I started to specialize in SaaS. So I ended up at Trivantis, and my job was to sell the company. I did that by slashing the marketing budget. I worked with Ravi Kumara, one of my colleagues, and we just two-person. We got rid of the agency, which is, I know, an agency's nightmare. Like, new marketing director comes in, I'm like, nope. We brought them. I brought them in house, and yeah. So once they announced they were for sale, I did other things because, pardon me, in order to sell a company, as you know, you have to look really profitable, just drive up leads and opportunities. So this was before AI was a thing. So I manually brought also, I got rid of the custom development company. I said, we can do that. Uh, NetSuite was connected to Marketo, and I said, well, that's too expensive, so I should cut there. And just like made a bunch of cuts, and we did integrations by our house. So we pretty much brought everything in house, so including creative, and Ravi and I did that. So the company sold because we made opportunities go up. We went up leads, and then we got the profits way up, so we looked really attractive. And of all the people who could acquire us, it's really cool that eLearning Brothers, which became ELB Learning, bought us. So yeah, so I was a product person, and Trivantis sold Lectora, Scenario VR, Course Mill. They brought over all those products, and so that's been my journey. And then I just became a consultant, and now I do that pretty much full time. And spoiler alert, I am launching a company as an entrepreneur with my colleagues, David Nordland out in Los Angeles, who's owned an agency and owns businesses, art store. He's just off the hook good. And then I'm going to combine it with Pedro Ceballos, who's a CEO of lots of nonprofits. So I'm not going to tell you the name yet.
we will figure out in a couple of weeks or months. Well, congratulations. A lot of stuff is going on your side, right? So, walk us through a little bit more on the AI side, because you also went to MIT and then you got into machine learning and AI. So, share with us what have you learned in
Oh
this
my God.
domain? Yeah.
By the way, MIT was so hard. I shouldn't admit this, but I think I cried every day. It was so hard for me. I didn't really have an AI background,
Mm.
and I didn't know machine learning. I'm like, oh, well, these are popular subjects. So I
Mm.
learned everything down to transformer models. Like with machine learning, I had the luxury of using NIME, Data IQ, Rapid Miner. So now I guess I have to buy my system since I don't have, I think my free access is running out. Now, if it weren't for Liz Otera, she kind of saved me at school. She's actually has a robotics company, and she's endorsed by NVIDIA. So it's very
Mm.
exciting. Then
Yeah.
Jim DeVries, Namat. We actually have, and my professor, all of us in class have monthly meetings. And so in a monthly meeting too, they're like talking about multi agents. And I already knew a lot about AI from MIT. So I said, oh,
Mm.
okay. So they recommended, because we're all tired and I was being cheap. I'm like, nah, I don't want something. I didn't need to go to MIT for, it's really, it's. So now I'm doing something easy on Coursera. Coursera is very, but I also just from talking to them, and helping clients already knew about AI agents, and I haven't really strung them together. I can experiment. So if you have a sequence, let's say in Make, or there's other tools out there. You can connect things like one example. Let's say you're in e-commerce, right?
Mm.
And you have the option of doing a different type of AI throughout it. So it could be things like scraping the web for competition. You can put timing in there. You can integrate with Chat GPT, do a bunch of commands with prompt engineering, and you could
Mm.
have commands like, for example, generate content, blah, blah, blah. And then the output, you can use something like Buffer for social media, and then you can push it out and run it, right? So that's kind of what I've been experimenting in with. It works with clients. And by the
Mm.
way, another spoiler alert, at our new company, which I won't tell you a name, it has to do with nonprofit consulting. I'm not going to tell you the name yet, but Pedro is going to be the CEO,
Mm.
and I'm going to be the chief AI officer, and David is going to be chief creative officer. So that's what we
Mm.
got. And
You got a great team.
I
Yeah.
do. And you know
Yeah.
what? No matter what, I can ask my friends at MIT if they're better than Chat GPT. So,
Yeah.
I'm just taking a small course right now on where I have to build a multi agent. So, and I get it
Yeah.
so far. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
as I know Pedro myself, so he's the best person to lead this. So
Isn't he
congratulations. Yeah.
amazing? That's
Yeah.
right.
He's very
We met
amazing.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So coming back on the marketing side as well. So using AI and automation in modern marketing. So this is a very hot topic. So every small or big company, they are trying to implement AI and automation, like into their marketing teams. And we do understand this is the need of the hour, right? So what exactly are the challenges that you see, because you help a lot of companies integrate AI into their, like marketing strategy, or also into their marketing departments. You basically build marketing departments with AI. So what exactly
Yes.
are the typical challenges faced by CEOs of small companies, like 20, 30 people company, and they don't have a marketing department at all? So what are the challenges that you see in those companies, and how do you help them resolve this?
Well, their big challenge, in my opinion, is speed. I mean, my
Okay.
clients have great products, but they might not know how to automate everything and fire them off.
Yeah.
I will say this a year is that before you run the engine, all of the work happens up front. So you don't turn it on
Yeah.
until you experiment. But one problem is that they haven't connected, say, text marketing and email marketing, maybe
Mm.
even clicks for a software company.
Yeah.
That's not, and it's also they have no recommendations of if this, like they have no decision trees. They're not doing machine learning. They maybe don't know what it can do. So I think that's pretty much our biggest problem. What I do is like basically reduce the timing once it's on. You just QC the output, so it's pretty much the only labor work, and you just test a little bit. And
Mm.
say yes, no, like for if there's a mistake. Yeah, so you my job is basically to reduce what used to take 100 out, like 100% of time. I'll reduce it by at least 80%,
Mm.
and then make it so that they don't have to think about it and they
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
just focus on making money.
That's already a very big achievement. So,
Thank you.
yeah, and so in our last meeting, so you also, so personally, I learned a lot of things from you when we were
Thank
having
you.
this AI discussion. So you mentioned you like content repurposing and prompt engineering. So use of content repurposing and prompt engineering at a scale. And this is something that we really see in e-commerce. So would you like to share a little bit more on that note as well?
Mhm.
So how this can help e-commerce brands push a lot of content automatically on social media?
Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of a client. This is such a cool product, and
Yeah.
they're just testing more on the field. Um, what they do is they sell bird deterrents. So if you
Hmm.
have a yacht
Yeah.
and you basically don't want them, making a mess, let's say on a yacht, right? First, I'm figuring out peak times and rules. Now, I discovered something very interesting um, for these types of companies for e-commerce is that well, first, what I set up for them just to test it was grabbing their photos, let's say in Dropbox or whatever thing they have in Dropbox, pull it over, do prompt engineering to generate content. And this would be based on when you train the model. You might upload a creative brief and you give so you would practice first saying a chat GPT, see what the content looks like, and you find out the prompt. So I strung it together, use the API key of chat GPT. I mean, you can do, I just like that one. So then if I like the generated content, then I wanted to push it out to social media. Now I probably should have put it out to buffers, but I figured out a very interesting bug when I was using Make, is that there's new laws now on Facebook because they always change it every 2 seconds. I wanted
Hmm.
to post to 20 groups. You have to, because of their rules, and they don't like third party apps because they know they're people that are doing AI with this and they're not genuine enough. And obviously, groups, you have to get approval, whatever, and not like you don't have to oversell them, so you got to entertain them as a strategy. Um, we found out that they don't like that. They said, "Oh yeah, you
Hmm.
can't post to groups automatically." So, okay, I don't have an answer to that. I can't get around that. But what should happen is that with any social media, which is why I'm going to try Buffer for them, what should happen is social media goes out, and let's say somebody clicks on it, you get notified, somebody clicks on it, you have incoming feedback, then you can do email triggers. And you can obviously interface with their, shopping cart type of thing somewhere in there. I'm
Hmm.
still testing to see what the best is, but that's an example of
Hmm.
e-commerce.
Yeah.
Because with
Yeah.
e-commerce, you want to know You want to put something awesome in there to promote it on social media. Maybe you want to use machine learning to figure out while you collect data, to find out who's most likely to buy.
Hmm.
And then you could also integrate, let's say, click behavior. You clicked here and here to look at it. So there's all kinds of possibilities.
Yeah, these are very good examples. So, because you work with a lot of CEOs as well, you help CEOs exit their companies. So, I would like to understand what exactly are the mistakes you think these CEOs are making when they are going towards the stage where they want to get acquired or they want to exit their company. And any
Hmm.
two, three examples that you can share with us, and people can, like, avoid these mistakes.
I would say the way you want to get acquired is a lot of clients come to, if they want to get acquired, um, the way they need to do it is just show increased leads. And there's some sales involved, getting people, like humans involved, getting people. I mean, they could become robots eventually, but getting people, like salespeople, to get them to close early. And so let's say you have a six-figure deal. If with click behavior, if the click behavior, that's also what you have to do with e-commerce, shows at risk or heavy users. And you
Yeah.
could also kind of target outside of that with machine learning. With when you integrate AI right
Hmm.
now, even especially multi agentic AI and agents, um, you all of a sudden solve your problems internally, reduce, um, or I would say grow profit margin, grow revenue when it's all looking good, the books. And when you, this is a terrible thing, but when you get people to sign early, it drives up revenue, and that's what makes you look very attractive when you get sold.
Yeah, definitely. These things really help. Um, Christy, you come with a lot of experience, background in terms of working with people, CEOs, executives. In our audience, we have entrepreneurs who are building their companies. They are actually they're building great companies. So, any two or three lessons you would like to share with our audience? Any advice that you would like to give them from your experience of working with successful CEOs?
CEOs are brilliant and they know what's going on. Most of them know something about AI, but in a case where somebody's launching a product, or they can have somebody like me help their AI be more complicated and better. So I'm finding that a lot of companies and chief AI officers and CEOs, a lot of them are already just have businesses that make money on their own. So
Hmm.
they're
Yeah.
probably, if they're just all of a sudden the hot thing, they're, probably don't necessarily use consultants right away. But as they're launching, you also want someone like me as a potential target to go in and test it with them. So whatever, there are some needs, but if someone's launching a product, uh, then obviously, doing e-commerce, for example, that's where I can come in and I can help them innovate. So
Yeah, I mean, like, it's I think I see so and I see a consultant and as an outsider, and a consultant has a critical feedback and an opinion, for example, that not everything that is working in the company is going in the right way. So, because it's very difficult in sometimes inside the company, it is difficult to get a critical feedback from own employees as well, or from co-founders. So I see a consultant as an outsider who basically audits, what exactly is going on, what exactly are the goals, and then gives an independent opinion. And in my opinion, that feedback can save you a lot of money in the long term, because one small advice from an independent consultant can save you a lot of time, can save you a lot of money. And if you are going towards exit, or if you are going to get acquired, I think this advice can make you a lot of money as well. So in my opinion, it is difficult for sure. CEOs, they rely on their own judgment a lot of times. They rely on their own people. It is difficult to get an outside consultant, but in my opinion, this investment is definitely worth. So I would like to ask you, people who are interested in working with you, how can they contact you? How they can reach out to you?
So my LinkedIn address is Christie Erin Callahan, as my personalized link. CHRISTIE Callahan, CALAHAN at gmail.com. I'll use my new company address when we launch. But I'm on LinkedIn, of course. I'm on Facebook. I mean, to study social media, you got to be on all of them, like threads. So you can just even Google me,
Yeah.
Christie Callahan, and then you can see my papers and my speaking engagements where I met you. And
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah.
So, guys, check out, if you need a good consultant, my recommendation is definitely for Christy. So, we will also drop her LinkedIn profile in the chat as well, in the description for this podcast. Check out her portfolio. She's doing a great job. So, Christy, it was a pleasure to have you on my podcast. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for sharing your advice with our audience. We wish you all the best with your new launch, with your new company.
Thank you. And I'm so happy I met you at the
Yeah.
Miami event where I was speaking. So thank you so much.
It was a great event.
Yes.
That is how we made connections.
Yes, exactly.
Looking forward to staying in contact with you. All the
Me
best. Take
too.
care. Yeah.
Thank you. Take care.